What's up, y'all? Welcome to another Successful Sundays. I want to say thank you for tapping in today. Unfortunately, last week I was sick. Unfortunately, I still have a little bit of a congestion thing going on, but your girl's feeling a lot better. Dope Life Coach is feeling a lot better. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get something to wipe off my screen. Oh, can't have a dirty screen out here. I'm not about that life. See, look at that. Look at that. So, I want to say thank you all for coming and tuning in to another Successful Sundays. I want to kind of touch base a little bit on what we're going to be discussing today, and then a little few topics that's been going around, and I just want to put my input on it in terms of for entrepreneurs and business owners as well. So today we're going to be tapping into habits. So sorry. Whew. Habits that could successfully change your life and shift your life into the more positive and also go after your goals more. Um, that's primarily what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to give you about five habits that you can use starting today, and you can start using them this week. But I want to touch base on a couple of things that's kind of been on my brain. So yesterday, today is Sunday, June 19th. So Saturday, June 18th, we had a little, well, we personally in Canada did not, but in the US, they were a little bit shook a bit with the TikTok ban rate clicking in. And within like 14 hours later, TikTok is back in the US, but CapCut is gone. For those of you who don't know what CapCut really is, CapCut is an app also owned by TikTok that allows a lot of people to edit their content. I'm one of them, so they lost that, but Canada still has it. I just want to touch base on a couple of things in terms of that entire band and what because one of the things I noticed is how much people put a lot of dependence on when it comes towards their business and the success of their business on a rental space. So when I mean my rental space, I mean like things like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all these social media platforms are rental space, right? We don't really pay for them. We sign up, we subscribe, and as a business owner, entrepreneur, career driven person, it's a way for you to network, right? But the rental space, if you're not having some type of, let's say, like catalog, or back in the day, we used to have Rolodex. Now, I'm going way back before I even was in the workforce, but you had something you written down, numbers written down. The way people were panicking yesterday and last night just kind of really made me think about that, like how we're unprepared sometimes because we put all our eggs in one basket. In life, one thing I've noticed is you never ever put all your eggs in one basket. You always have to figure out ways to grow yourself, grow your business, whatever it is that you're working on, goals, so on and so forth. You reach out to other ways of accomplishing it or other platforms perhaps, right? For example, me here on YouTube, I'll give you a bit of a background. I used to dislike going live. Disliked it. Disliked it more than you could quite possibly think. But for some reason on YouTube, I actually quite enjoy it more. I don't know if it's the audience that I'm enjoying more, the people I interact with, that could be part of it, but I enjoy it more on this platform. So it's like find your place, but also don't put all your eggs in one basket to the point where you're now, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not too sure how I'm going to pivot. And I'm not knocking nobody, but completely thinking that one platform is your only way of income is slight nonsense. Sorry. And I'm not trying to disrespect you in any way, shape, or form. Please understand. But it's nonsense because, again, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. I want you to think about it this way. If you're working a job and you were to get laid off, God forbid, you get to collect unemployment, right? But with just putting all of your eggs in one basket for one app or one particular program, man, you're not quite gonna get like you're not getting unemployment for that. So I just say like be more cautious, be more weary, and start using like imagine having a million followers or whatever in your for your business, and you're not even taking 10% of that to somehow interact with, get to know, figure out who they are, like have conversation with it. To me, that's nuts, right? Like I just hit 600 follow subscribers here on YouTube, which is a massive accomplishment. And I received an email this week stating that my podcast is not performing well. And I very quickly thought about how that made me think about how people think about followers and subscribers and stuff like that. To me, they're souls. They're human beings behind every person, even the people who are viewing my live right now. These are human beings. So when did we get to the point that we have lost track of humanity and empathy and understanding that each follower, each subscriber is taking the time out of their day to mess with you, to get to know you, to get your contact, and to receive information from you. I think we've lost the block a little bit there. And with the ban in the US, I think that it really heightened that. But I also want to say to my Canadian content creators, my Canadian small business owners, just because we're not getting monetized on certain applications doesn't mean that you don't show who you are. It's not about the money all the time, y'all. It's about the interactions you have with people. I have made more interactions with people on the app and off apps, and have still been able to gain business income, right? So I think we need to really shift our mindset when it comes towards the fact that we feel like we're like Canadians are not good enough as well. But I think we also need to shift our mindset towards thinking one platform is good enough. It's not. It's all about what's your mission in your life? What's your mission of what you want to do? We've lost the block when we just think it's all about money. And I get it. We're in a recession. We need money. Like I get it. I understand. We all want to build a generational wealth and things like that. But the band really showed me a few things. How quickly they also could come up with legislation so damn fast, and how quickly it could divide people. But in Canada, the best thing I could say for us right now, we need to be more cautious with the election coming up. We need to be smart. We need to show up at the polls. Okay. It's not just about what's going on in the US. We got to pay attention to what's going on here. And there's a lot of great content creators that are talking about it. So you just got to go and figure out who is giving you the the proper information. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna now that I've gotten that out the way, I just want to say that we're gonna be talking about 5 simple ways to transform your hobbies that can elevate your life to the next level, and also not get you out of more of a thrive and not survive um, in many areas of your life, if not all of your areas in your life. So, if you haven't already, go ahead. If you're new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you never miss another episode, video, or live. All right, let's get right into it. So, the very first one that I would say that is most important habit that we need to start implementing more in 2025, almost at 2024, 2025 is movement of our body. Because me personally, as if you've known, you've been rocking with me, I lost now over 30 pounds. Primarily, to be honest, just to fit in clothes that I had because I didn't want to buy anything new. And I work out primarily not so much about losing weight, but more about my mindset. And around this time of the year here in Canada, it's winter, so I work out primarily for my seasonal depression, right? It helps me sharpen my focus, it helps me reduce my stress, um, helps me boost my energy, to be honest with you. And it's also benefited my sleep, which I'm gonna get into as well. So whether it's you walking, doing yoga class, Pilates class, I'm gonna try one day to do one of those classes. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I've seen videos and they scare the Evelyn, yo, they scare the little shit out of me, like for real. Dancing in your kitchen, 10-minute stretch, weightlifting, um, anything that sports, anything that just gets your body moving just a little bit. Because as you're right now sitting down watching me, ask yourself how long you've been sitting. Now, I want to also say if you've been sick like I was sick last week, don't stress over it because there's a whole bunch of sickness going on right now and it's taking us all out, so don't stress. But I'm like, what's your favorite way of you moving? Some people will say just dancing in their kitchen, playing sports like on a recreational team, or just going for a walk. If it's too cold, if you could just go for a walk in an indoor environment as well. Like what ways can you get to move your body that works for you the best? Like do you need headphones to listen to a favorite podcast, book, music? Set yourself up for success by doing the movement, but doing it in a way that you like it as well. Next one I'm a massively a big fan of, which is writing out your thoughts. I will say this again, writing out my thoughts have saved my life personally. There's other ways you could do it. You could do a video of yourself just letting your thoughts out. You could do audio. You can use on your phone the option where it goes from your speech to text. That's a great way. I'd also suggest you try to remain as positive as you possibly can because that's a good way to shift your mindset if you're feeling like in a little bit of the dumps and life is kind of lifing on you. But this also it helps again to shift your mindset to let go and release, but it also helps to improve your emotional health as well. So you could do brain dumps, gratitude journals as well. Or you could just do what I do, which is weekly reflections. I do it every Sunday. It's actually scheduled in my iCal every Sunday for me to take a step back, grab a pen and paper, and write out the things that worked and what things that didn't work. In fact, like I actually have journal prompts in my reminder on my calendar. And even if it's just writing like 3 sentences, I know sometimes you may feel as if you gotta write a whole paragraph. You're not always gonna be in the mood to do it, so don't sweat it. Even if you just write, "I feel this, I am this," and it's even an affirmation type of form, you'll just write it out, okay? Number 3, highly there's 2 ways you could do this, okay? Reading books, but I gotta say this, if you're gonna read, it's okay if you're not quite in the position or chapter to take everything in. Allow yourself to take what you need from what you read. You're gonna read books over and over again. I've learned that, I've done it, but you could also do audiobooks, and if you have a library card in your city, download the Libby app, it's for free. I was using Audible, but then my partner put me on Libby app, and I haven't changed since, primarily because it's free and it's funded by the the public library wherever you are. And there's also another app called Hoopla. So if you don't want to pay for Netflix and things like that, check out Hoopla. It's an app, again, library card, and it's free. But going back, if you're trying to, let's say, self-develop, personal development, then read those type of books and articles as well. Google, man, what's it called again? I forgot the name, but Google has they have registered articles from doctors and even universities that you could tap into, and it's like researches, which I read them from time to time. They're great. And when you're taking in that knowledge and reading it, be also cautious that some stuff you're just not going to get. I've read books where people are like, "This is a great book," and me personally, I'm like, "This book is trash." Like, and they are self-help and self-development. I'm just like, "Nah, like this is absolute trash." But then I'll go back and read it, let's say months later or even a year later. I'm like, "Okay, now I can kind of understand." One book I highly suggest is James Clear, Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it, please do. Great book. It doesn't just talk about habits; it talks about creating strategy, in which I very much believe in as well, creating a strategy and a plan. Check it out. It's a really, really good book. Apologize for that. And I kind of briefly talked about this one as well, which is sleep. Sleep, do not sleep on sleep. Sleep is so important. Whether you don't have a sleep routine or you do, like for example, I change my sheets every week. That's hygienic, but it's also for the main reason like I like to sleep well. I have a PM routine before I go to bed. I also try my best. I try my best to not be on my phone before bed, but I also use an app called Insight Timer that helps me just kind of like wind down. It has meditations on it. It has also music that you could play, like let's say the ocean or wind or the rain. I play it's about an hour, hour and a half, and it knocks me out within like I would say maybe 10 minutes. It's a great app, also free. I like a lot of free things. And the last but not least habit that we really need to tap into is what we eat. I was thinking the other day on how much of our food has lost in nutrients because they've replaced it with something else. So it's our duty and our job to make sure we're taking care of that because we still need certain nutrients in our life. Uh, think about certain type of supplements. Please converse this with your doctor. That could help you boost your energy, sharpen your focus, enhance your overall health, help you also get, like, better meals in. So one of the I'll give you a tip, for example, one of the things that I did to lose the 30 plus pounds was I looked at what I was eating and what I knew wasn't too good for me and what I knew that I needed more of. So I never deprived myself. I wanna make that very clear as well. I did not deprive myself. I still had a sweet treat, but instead of me having it, let's say 3 times a week, I had it once. And typically, I would have it on my weekend so I could enjoy it while I was home. And I always had, like, a cheat meal, as people would call it, and I would have the meal and then get back into whatever I needed to eat by the Sunday. Typically, my cheat meal's on a Saturday. And you wanna ask yourself, if you had to upgrade your eating habit, how could you upgrade it? How like, what are the things that you would wanna change? So, one of my coworkers recently asked me, "How did I do it?" And I broke it down. I broke it down. I went from this to this, and they tried it, and within the first week, they've lost 2.5 pounds. It's just making some slight changes, nothing crazy like that. And that's it, y'all. Those are the 5 habits I would definitely take a look into. They're also micro habits. But if I could say anything tonight, look at your sleeping habit. How are you sleeping? This is a great time for you to evaluate your sleeping habit. How are you sleeping? What's some of the things that you want to change? Because a lot of us sleep on sleep and we sleep on rest. And the moment that I started taking more charge of how I was resting and the moments of stillness, a lot of things started to come into play in terms of my mood was changed, in terms of it enhanced, it got a lot better. I had more energy throughout the day. I didn't feel lethargic. So do not sleep on getting a good night rest. And that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have a dope, 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 and amazing, blessed week. And as always, y'all, you know what to do. I'll see you on Tuesday. New episode dropping Tuesday. And yeah, that's it, y'all. I hope y'all walk with peace and walk with love.